Take this Q&A at 1:20. Ready? How long had you known him? Since we moved in the apartment. Maybe a month after that, I became acquainted with Pete. You moved in the apartment complex in September or August? We moved in there in August. We went to the same church as Pete. That's how I knew him. Pete motioned to me to come outside, so I came outside. He pointed to the car and said, "Have you seen this car here before?" And I said no. He said that his wife had seen that same car with the same license plate previously in our parking lot in the afternoon, and the person was watching the school children as they leave school and came home from school. And he mentioned that the person she saw in the car looked questionable. He looked kind of like a shady character, is basically like the term he used. I had not seen the car there before, so I was relying on Pete's word. As we talked, we looked out to the car, and I was able to notice that it was a hatchback. I could look in the back window and see what looked like a green sleeping bag and a camouflaged type of army sleeping bag. It was extremely messy. The car was extremely messy. We could see down through the hatchback window. We were looking almost directly over it at this time toward the east, maybe 10 to 15 feet into the car itself. At that time, basically, I looked over in the direction of the school. I just glanced over there. There's an overhang there for your information, and we were past the overhang, so we could see around the overhang. I have been there. Now, when you say past the overhang, what do you mean? To the east of it. So that means that you were to the east of the overhang where the balcony railing is lower? Yes, we were leaning against the railing, talking. And you were in front of which apartment? The Remington's apartment was just to the west, and we were maybe 5 feet just to the west of their apartment. What apartment number is the Remington's apartment? I'm not sure. Well, was it on the same floor? It's on the same floor, but it's to the east. It's on the top level? It's on the top level, yes. It's 2 apartments to the east. It's 2 apartments to the east of your apartment? Yes, but I'm not sure what number it is. Okay. And so somewhere between their apartment and the next apartment is where you were standing? We were closer to their apartment. You were closer to their apartment? Yes, we were closer to the Remington's apartment. Okay, proceed. And there's a tree there, but in the winter time the leaves fall off the tree, and I could see through the branches, and I could see a man leave the tunnel and walk directly to his car. As he walked to his car, he panned to the left of him and to the right of him. So I was able to get a full look at his face, the full profile. I could see the full profile and both sides of his face directly on. He got in the car and drove directly out of the parking lot, out the exit to the east, which I believe is 4th West. So he did not go north on 5th North? No. The car drove right out to the exit of the parking lot. After that, I'm not sure where he drove. So he exited directly east? Yes. To 4th West? I believe it was 4th West, yes. The next street from 5th West? Yes. Okay, did you see whether or not it turned? No. You don't know which way it went? I didn't pay any attention to it after that. You just noticed it going to the exit of the parking lot? Yes. You didn't see it enter 4th West, but you saw it leave the parking lot? I saw it pull out onto 4th West between the gutter and the actual tarmac of the street. That's where I stopped watching the car. And then you turned your head away so you don't know which way it went from there? No, I don't. And so about what time was this? It would have been after 8 o'clock. I would say perhaps in the realm of 8:30 to 9 o'clock in the morning. Again, this happened in December. So it was sometime between 8:30 and 9 o'clock? Approximately, yes. I'll say approximately because now it's almost 7 months ago and my exact memory might have slipped. Now, you indicated that it takes you about 15 minutes to get back from taking your wife to work. Yes, I probably pulled into the parking lot initially, somewhere between 8 and 8:30 probably, but I couldn't say for sure. And after you turned away from the car exiting the parking lot, what happened then? Pete and I talked for maybe a minute. You talked with Pete? Yes, we talked about what we had seen. What did you say, if you recall? No, I do not recall. Basically, we were just discussing the situation that we had seen, saying that the person looked shady, that he looked like he was walking directly to his car. The car was running. That seemed to throw kind of a red flag to me. But I had no idea that anything had happened. So I proceeded to go into my apartment to take a shower and to become groomed for the day's activities. Okay, so you don't recall any specific things that you or Pete said at that point in time? No. Go ahead. If you have something to say, go ahead. I was just going to say the fact that Pete mentioned to me later on that evening that he had not seen the person leave the tunnel, but I actually had. That's the distinction. All right. Now, let's get back to the person that you observed walking toward the car. How would you describe that person? Dark hair, beard, darker complexion, either very tan or slightly brown skin, heavy set, maybe height-wise in the realm of 5'6" to 5'11". And what was the individual wearing? He looked like he had on a green khaki, not camouflage green, but an army green. Olive drab? Whatever color army jackets are. That's what the army calls them. That's good enough for me. Army green? Should we call it that? Yes. Okay, army green what? Jacket. Army green jacket? Yes, I do not remember what kind of shirt he was wearing. And it was solid, not camouflage. All I remember is the olive color, the olive drab color. So it could have been camouflage. It could have been. And that's the jacket. Was he wearing a hat? Was he wearing anything on his head above the neck? I don't recall that. I recall his face, and I recall him turning back and forth. I remember getting a picture of the left part and right part as he panned the area and the body. What else was the individual wearing besides the jacket? I do not remember. You have no recollection of anything else that the person was wearing? No. Now, you indicated that you observed this individual leave the tunnel. Is that right? Yes. All right, 11 minutes at 1:20.